Ring officials assigned by the Louisiana State Boxing and Wrestling Commission. Your judges at ringside are, from New Orleans, Louisiana, Johnny Femia Jr., from Golden Meadow, Barry Orgeron, and from Bogalusa, Louisiana, Terry Wood. Your referee for this event, from Destrehan, Louisiana, the elegant Elmo Adol. Here now are the principals. First, in the red corner to my right, wearing the black trunks, red accessories. He weighs in at 216 pounds. His professional record, 21 victories, 3 defeats, 2 draws, 15 wins by way of knockout. He hails from Hialeah, Florida. Here is Jorge Valdes. His opponent in the blue corner, wearing the red trunks, gold trim. He weighs in at 231¼ pounds. His professional record, 28 victories, 1 defeat. He has 23 wins by way of knockout. He hails from Brooklyn, New York, and boxes for Mark Roberts Worldwide Entertainment and Sports Corporation. Here is Shanon Briggs. Briggs, 10 rounds, heavyweight.
Pay attention. Shake.
28 wins in 29 fights, 23 knockouts, 17 of those in the first round. He put Melton Bowen down in 26 seconds. He also has a knockout in 22 seconds. And he looks across at Jorge Valdes, a late bloomer who had just 1 amateur fight. Debuted as a pro at the age of 25, just comes off a 10-round fight with Axel Schultz, and Shanon Briggs going right at it. And starting with the jab.
Look how high the hands are of Valdes. He knew what to expect. He saw the fight with Melton Bowen, and he knew Shanon was going to come out and start strong. Hands high.
Valdes, who's a very aggressive fighter, but says now that he is learning, is trying to add some patience. This is all on-the-job training for the 30-year-old Valdes. The limited amateur career, been learning in the gym, on the job. He's stepped up a couple of times, was taken out by Larry Donald in the 6th round last June, then stepped up against Axel Schultz. He did take Schultz the 10 rounds in Germany in April, and he says he's got to take these steps. If you don't take the steps, you never learn. Very conscientious young man, Valdes, and he is taking a major step up against Shanon Briggs. Valdes figures, knowing Melton Bowen, they're both from the Florida area, that he felt Melton Bowen should not be fighting anymore, way past his fighting days, and really discounts that quick knockout by Briggs. And he also looks at the Darrell Wilson fight. Many of the detractors of Shanon Briggs look at that fight and say that with Shanon Briggs piling up all the victories and all the knockouts and all the first-round KOs, that Wilson was really the first man that he fought who fought back, and that's what happened.
And defeated Darrell Wilson. He was 15-0-2 when he faced Shanon and handed Shanon his first loss and only loss.
So Valdes right now looking first things first, and that's get out of the first round, and how he is on top of Shanon Briggs.
Pressure. This is the pressure that Valdes wanted to use tonight. In the ring, he describes himself as an aggressive, good defensive fighter. He dictates fights, he says. That he's tried to modify a little bit, relaxed in fighting more. His best punch, he says, the left hook. There's a good left jab from Shanon Briggs, who calls himself a boxer puncher in the ring. He says, my best punch is the left hook. He's got a good right hand also. Tonight, Shanon said, I'm going to show a little bit more of my boxing skills.
Well, he came out strong.
Oh, good left hook from Valdes.
No, says Shanon Briggs.
But Valdes gets in there and tries, now that he's past the first butterflies of that opening round. He knew that Shanon was going to come out and try to bomb. If he could withstand that and come back, that's what he was hoping for.
In that Bowen fight, 2 months ago. Briggs at 230 pounds. He has slimmed down to 216 for this one, but gives away 15 pounds to Valdes, and we are getting through round number 1.
Sunday.
With a good left hook to the right side of the jaw of Shanon Briggs in that first round, although Briggs kept the pressure on throughout most of that first. And he begins the second that way.
You look at these two bodies out there, it's hard to comprehend that Valdes actually weighs more than Briggs, who stands in that 6'4" frame.
Pounding the body, look at that.
Elmo Adolph with the warning, although the excessive pounding after the referee had stepped in. There's the right by Valdes. Already the fans now backing the underdog. Every time Valdes is able to strike, you hear it from the crowd. Briggs 23 knockouts, 17 have come in the first round. And then after that, just 2 in the second, 3 in the third. And here is Valdes trying to crank it up. And what Shanon Briggs needs is a good slugfest right here. Get some rounds in. He's looking for that experience. He said the loss to Wilson offered him a perspective. It was a blessing in disguise. It brought him back to earth. He was skyrocketing. He was really rushed. He had 25 straight fights. He won every round and every fight. He scored 31 knockdowns in those 25 fights. And he was really moving fast and not really learning. They're not getting ready for the big fights. He says before the Wilson fight, it was all the making of Shanon Briggs, the future heavyweight champ. The personality overplayed the skill. Now he's more into himself, what he has to do to complete the package. He wants a title first, then the other things come in. It's a very talented young man we're looking at.
He said in that Darryl Wilson fight that Wilson was ready to go in the first 2 rounds. He said, I just punched myself out. Don't even remember the punch that hit me. And the one that gets you is the one you don't see.
Shanon Briggs is modeled. He is in an episode of New York Undercover and featured in music and fashion magazines. His voice was even on the hip-hop CD, the score by the Fugees. So he gets around and he knows there's a lot out there, but he decided that he has to concentrate on boxing, and he has to concentrate on Jorge Valdes, who is getting his shots in. And Valdes is taking Briggs where he wants him a little later in this fight.
Valdes came to fight.
Enthusiasm in the corner of Jorge Valdes, who feels that he has established himself now in this fight, and that Shanon Briggs better take him seriously, as I'm sure he has. Although before the fight, Briggs was talking. He has sparred with Valdes and said that those sessions were very intense, and Briggs is somewhat insulted because he said it was Valdes who wanted this fight. You know, basically saying, you know, who is he? He thinks he could beat me. You know, and he wants this fight. It's a little macho thing going on in this one. Oh, upstairs is Valdes. Valdes at 5'10½", giving away nearly 6 inches. And he has to get inside. That's where he is more effective. And he's been successful. Now Valdes looking over to the corner, his corner, and sneaking in that left inside.
Yeah, they're doing a terrific job in that corner. Dan Birmingham and Mike, his brother, Henry Foster over there, telling Valdes, stay on the inside, which Valdes is doing. And he's relying on that corner to help him guide through this fight. Valdes trying to make up for time. He got into boxing at 25 just to see how far he could go. He wanted to test his strength as well. And if he would pull off a surprise win over Shanon Briggs, then good things are ahead for Jorge Valdes.
Well, I got the matchup if he does it. Jorge Valdes with Darryl Wilson. Halfway through, an erroneous bell going off.
What bell? I didn't hear any
I
bells.
hope everybody heard that.
Are you hearing bells, Al?
Well,
I think you've been hit too much.
Well, we are in the Bell of Baton Rouge, so every so often just wild bells go off. Third round action.
Bells in your head.
Get hit out of there, Valdes. Don't put it in there.
Shanon Briggs this is his 30th fight. He's been past the 4th round on only 6 occasions. Valdes coming off a 10-round fight in Germany against Axel Schultz, losing the fight.
Fight in which he says he learned a lot from. He said, I made many mistakes. He said that Schultz was strong. He was like a rock. When I hit him, he would not even move. He's moving Shanon Briggs tonight, putting the pressure on, muscling him around, taking some of the energy out of Shanon, taking some of the fire from his punches.
Valdes is a fighter, though, will keep on coming. Very aggressive, although he says he's trying to modify that. Not there when he had the opportunity. Says he just has to get a little more relaxed in the ring. He has to learn that sometimes let the punches come to you and counter it. You don't have to fight every second of a fight. Now some holding going on in the final 10 seconds of round number 3.
The holding going on by Shanon Briggs. They gotta wake up Shanon Briggs in his corner. He's all the people all the time. But this is a man in Shanon Briggs who really takes that to heart whenever somebody talks about him.
Well, also highly promoted, coming out of the Brownsville section of Brooklyn, which produced Mike Tyson and Riddick Bowe. Briggs got off to 25 straight wins. Very, very questionable opponents to build up that big record. And he said that he has paid the price because along the way didn't learn as much as he thinks he could have against some other opposition. Remember Jeremy Williams talking about that on the West Coast after Wilson had knocked out Shanon Briggs, saying that Briggs along the way with all those quick knockouts did not know what to do when he was in trouble because he had never been in trouble. And right now, Jorge Valdes
putting him there,
taking it to Shanon Briggs. He's stepping back. A little huff and a puff. One major obstacle in the career of Briggs, as you see him breathe hard, is that he suffers from asthma, cold-induced asthma, which means he shouldn't have any problem here tonight in the sweltering heat of Louisiana.
How similar these two fights that we've seen are. Obakar, Ross Thompson, both of them said they were going to use their jab. They got in the ring, neither one of them used their jab. How effective in this fight would be a jab from Shanon Briggs? He is allowing for Valdes to fight the fight that Valdes fights at his best. Valdes, nose to nose, loves to fight on the inside.
He's allowing him in.
Not out on the end of his punches. If Shanon would get to that jab, get Valdes out there at the end of that jab. Let him stay out there. Keep him out there at the end. Don't let him in. There's a good uppercut from Briggs.
Meanwhile,
once he gets in, Valdes scores well.
And Valdes is now trying to get Briggs out of the end of this fight into the later rounds.
Well, Shanon may have mocked himself into a corner because he is not a distance fighter yet. He says he wants to be a distance fighter.
Yeah, but you know what? But he needs fights like this.
Yes, he does. But fights where he can come back. There's a good combination from Briggs. A nice movement from him. Let's see if Shanon Briggs can change gears.
Okay, keep in mind, Briggs, the big knockout artist, with 23 KOs. But of those 23, from this point on, only one has come after the 3rd round. So Jorge Valdes, in his fight plan, is past stage 1 of getting Briggs past the 3rd.
And that was Mike Faulkner, who knocked out in the 6th round back in February of 1994. Interesting matchup. Jorge Valdes sticking to his fight plan. They're going to have some words for Briggs.
Bell of Baton Rouge. We're in Catfish Town in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in the atrium, the Camden Yards of boxing. As we move into round number 5, Shanon Briggs taken to the task by Jorge Valdes. Shanon Briggs is ranked number 21 by the WBC. to be a hard climb for Shanon when you consider he knocked the guy out in 26 seconds and moved up only one spot in the rankings. But I think WBC taking into account Milton Bowen, whose career certainly behind him. Jorge Valdes said Bowen should never be in the ring, shouldn't even been fighting again. It's over for him. Shannon Briggs, correction, has actually 2 knockouts after the 3rd round, 1 in the 6th and 1 in the 8th. But you can see the very low percentage of his 23 knockouts have come after 3, and right now the pace slowing down. Shannon Briggs has been past the 4th round only 6 times before this one tonight. And Valdes out-hustled Nate Tubbs for a 10-round victory. That's his best win. Tubbs, who came into that fight at 6'4", 260. And Valdes put on the hustle. And now Valdes is also gaining in confidence.
Yeah, Tubbs also 15-1, 12 KOs. And this is the same kind of way that Valdes beat Tubbs. He beat him on the inside, roughed him up, backed him to the ropes, and punched away. Just like he's doing tonight. There's a nice right hand from Briggs. Briggs has his moments where he has nice 1- and 2-shot punches, but it is Valdes who is putting the combinations together and the more flashier shots. There's a good right hand from Valdes. Also, you see that hair all on the back of Shannon Briggs' head. Every time Shannon gets hit, it turns his head. That makes it look even like it hurts more when that big gob of hair back there spins also. Looks like his whole head goes around on his neck a few times.
In his last 7 fights, Shannon Briggs, this goes back 2 years to the summer of '95. His last 7 fights, he has fought a total of 10 rounds. And that's just a push. Almost Adolph. On top of that, gives a little warning to
Briggs fans who are celebrating now. Hoping the referee calls him a knockdown. Good right hand from Valdes.
Well, Shannon Briggs showing the crowd no. In the meantime, takes 2 extra shots, and now he's offended, and now he is slugging back in the closing seconds. Oh, Valdes looking away, and he is down. It is counted as a knockdown. Valdes looking away.
7, 8, protect yourself at all times, okay?
That's what Jorge Valdes does. Puts his hands down. Shannon Briggs clocks him. Referee Elmo Adolph even said, "I told you to protect yourself at all times." That was counted as a knockdown at the end of that 5th round.
What was Valdes thinking?
Maybe he was hearing that bell you were hearing earlier.
Well, he did after.
I'm not quite sure what he was thinking. He was looking at the referee, looking away. I learned my lesson on that. You never look away from your opponent.
Bell had not sounded. There were seconds remaining in the round. So that is a definite pick-me-up for Shannon Briggs as he puts Valdes down. Valdes on his ledger will put an asterisk next to that knockdown. 5 rounds down, scheduled 5 to go in this main event. 28-1 Shannon Briggs in the red trunks. 21-3-2 Jorge Valdes in the black. 49 victories and a total of 38 knockouts between these 2 heavyweights. Valdes trying to make it on the scene. A late bloomer. He had 1 amateur fight. Turned pro at the age of 25. Now learning on the job. He had an experience learning from Larry Donald a year ago when he was dominated and stopped in the 6th round. More of an experience in his last fight on April 25th against Axel Schultz in Germany when he went 10 full rounds with Schultz, the man who tangled with George Foreman and lost that disputed decision. Valdes went 10.
Valdes says his idols are Tyson and Marciano. He says, I don't possess the power that they represent, but I get the job done. And he's put a gutty performance together so far tonight. His fight plan tonight, be smart, don't get caught early, be aggressive. And he has done that. He's really frustrated Shanon Briggs.
He has stayed on top of the favorite.
Oh, look at that.
Gets a little room and takes advantage upstairs.
Punching in combinations where Shanon is only throwing single shots. Shanon not really landing. Shanon just pitter-patting, too. Different complexion in this fight as those first 3 rounds. Remember how strong Shanon Briggs started?
Shanon Briggs firing out of the gate again, but Valdes withstood that early.
Giving fourth, Valdes has been able to keep the pressure on Briggs. Sense of urgency over there in the corner. Tell you what, I wouldn't want to fight Carlos Albuquerque. He is fired up. Let him in there a few rounds.
Shanon Briggs, if you take a step back and look at the big picture, happy to be around for this round. Learning tonight, both of these fighters. And for Briggs, learning against a tough cookie who still has him going here in the 7th round.
Yeah.
There's a sip on.
A lot of water over there. That is the corner of Valdes. That's his own corner. They have a lot of water over there. They work to get cleaned up. Call of time. Says Elmo Adolph. See that water over there, when the fighter sits down on his stool, they drench him in water, try to cool the body down, take the body temperature down. And when they do that, they get water in the corner.
One shot by Briggs, getting the jab going, getting back to the jab, keeping Valdes at bay.
Valdes giving ground now. That's a dangerous thing to do against a fighter like Briggs. 90% of the power of the punch is right on the end, that final snap, that crack right at the end. And when you back up from a big puncher like Shanon Briggs, you get into that 90% zone, power zone. Nice jab. Look at how these jabs just control a fighter. They maneuver him around. That's where Shanon has been so intriguing to so many people in this heavyweight division. A big heavyweight with a good jab will go far.
And this is what Shanon Briggs has to prove to himself, that in the 7th round,
yes,
he can still be effective with the jab. There he works to the uppercut. There he has taken that advantage of being in close. Valdes had been earlier. You know, you take a look at this fight on paper and you say, here's Shanon Briggs, 6'4", going up against 5'10" Jorge Valdes. The only way Valdes figures he can beat him is if he gets inside, and to come inside, he has to come at Briggs, which seems to be the perfect opponent for Briggs.
You would certainly think that, but it has been Valdes who's not only moved in, he's kept his hands moving on the inside. He has outpunched Briggs. Although I've got this fight extremely close. 6 rounds, I still have it up in the air.
If you have any questions, you know, you can call your mom.
I call mom
and get the official scoring.
I want to know what it is. Somehow that's you taught me. Somehow
no.
Somehow I suspect.
Don't lay the blame on your mother.
I'm sorry, Mom.
She's now going to call you for saying that. Mama Grady, of course, a celebrity judge a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, signed her first autograph from that. She was real happy about that.
When did you ask her for that? We waited for that. attention on the faces here at ringside.
Look at some of
They
the
are
crowd.
packed in, and they're enjoying it tonight in Baton Rouge.
And they love boxing here in Baton Rouge. Good boxing fans. They're knowledgeable about the sport, knowledgeable about the fighters. They're even knowledgeable about Elmo Adolph, third man in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Shanon Briggs just go over there and tickle the referee. Tickle
me, Elmo.
Oh,
Adolph.
Going to come up with a contribution to one of the fighters in the Elmo Adolph fight. 8th round. Briggs has been here 3 other times into the 8th, and that's it. One of the strongest rounds was the 7th.
And Valdes has been here 5 times in this 8th round. Good right hand from Valdes. Good jab from Briggs. This is what Shanon Briggs should have been doing earlier in this fight. I think he also has made a fight more difficult by allowing Valdes to advance on him, to score on the inside. Some of the tape now coming loose from the left glove of Shanon Briggs.
And now Elmo Adolph will take care of things. Shanon Briggs, who has come a long, long way as a heavyweight contender. He was raised in the Brownsville section of Brooklyn by a single mom. And when he was a teenager, they actually lost their apartment. And he was passed around to live with different family members here and there. And there was a time they had nowhere to live, and he was actually living on the streets. And he didn't start organized boxing until he was 17 years old. He said he was always slap boxing with friends. He dared to go into the gym, and that opened up a new world to him, and he saw this as a way out. But as a kid, he said he was very shy. He was a heavy kid. He was an only child. He was picked on, which is now hard to believe. But boxing started to build his confidence, and he brought out his personality, which now is pouring out. So it has been a tough climb and a Hollywood movie waiting to happen. Shanon Briggs story.
Well, growing up in Brooklyn, he had nothing to do. He said one time he was watching TV, he saw the Buster Drayton-Matthew Hilton fight, and he said, wow, I want to do that.
From a boxing announcer, was that?
Went to the gym and started doing it.
28-1, the record for Shanon Briggs, who had a meteoric rise and brought down to earth a year ago when he was knocked out by Darrell Wilson in the 3rd round. He has come back since to win 3 straight, 2 quickie first-round knockouts, and now taken to the task by grinding Jorge Valdes.
Yeah, and he's doing a lot of smiling in this fight, but he's got to be concerned. This fight is extremely close, and Valdes is scoring. Valdes is having a nice little rally here in the 8th round, putting the pressure on and scoring well. Shanon Briggs is just smiling, not punching, and he's eating the leather. Judges see, look at Shanon Briggs. Yeah, he's scoring, but this is more like slap boxing. He's not really putting his force behind it. Valdes, when he punches, he's trying to put every single ounce of energy he has into his fists.
Take a look at Shanon Briggs. He's been fighting as a pro for 5 years. He has the big record, but this is the kind of fight he should have been having 2 years ago.
Yes, it is, and the phone will be ringing tomorrow for Shanon Briggs. A lot of people calling, wanting to have a shot at Shanon.
Yeah, but he has to be patient now and understand that although he's 5 years into his pro career, it should be his 2nd year, and he should be fighting some of these distance fights and given somewhat of a test.
Yeah, and you know what? He is making, like I said before, he's making an easy fight difficult. He is facing a man who knows only one way to fight. Valdes cannot be a boxer. Shanon Briggs can be a boxer. Briggs has better tools than to stand and slug with a fighter like Valdes. This sport is about control. You control your opponent and make him do what it is that you want him to do. Valdes wanted for Briggs to stand toe-to-toe with him and slug, and that's what he's got.
Well, this may not be a one-sided win for Shanon Briggs, but If he goes on to victory in this one, it certainly be one of his most valuable.
Yes, sure will. He's got a kid in front of him who wants to fight. He wants to test him.
And he has to be tested.
Yeah, that's what you have to have. Defining fight to help your career advance.
There's the time remaining in round number 9. And Briggs, 23 knockouts. None have come this late in a fight. Valdes, who has 15 KOs. And checking his record, the latest knockout for Valdes has been in the 3rd round. So he is way out of his KO area. Now Briggs turning it up. Briggs, firing away with the right hand. Shanon Briggs, lightning striking here in round number 9.
Oh, somebody woke him up. Look at Briggs, a nice little feint, jab, and then a right hand to the body. The kid has got terrific tools throughout this match. He's been playing into the hands of Valdes. Now he's not.
Dominating round for Shanon Briggs. He had Jorge Valdes down in the 5th. At the end of the round.
And that may be the difference in the scoring. This fight.
Well, big 9th round, though, for Briggs.
Yeah.
It has been stopped. Shanon Briggs, who opened it up in the 9th round, and Jorge Valdes suffering a broken jaw. The crowd does not know that as of yet, and you hear the booing in the background for Valdes not coming out for the 10th round, but certainly a very valiant effort by Jorge Valdes, but the jaw broken in the 9th round, and the fight has been stopped. As valuable a victory for Shanon Briggs in the 29 that he has put up there. And in the end, getting stronger. A big 7th round, and then the awesome 9th round for Briggs.
Yeah, which did answer a lot of questions for Briggs. He still has the energy late in a fight to come on strong and end it when he needs to end it. Here it is in that 9th. Look at these punches. Look at the bounce in his legs, the snapping shots from Briggs. This is power that he had not shown in the previous rounds, especially in those middle rounds. Valdes not pressing the attack here. Cracking right hand from Shanon. Setting up that right hand with that left jab. Different look, and there is a look at the jaw. Look into his mouth. They have to look at this under a. It's a 4th round. They have to look at this under a X-ray machine. But he thinks it's broke. Can't hold it up.
Dislocated is the word. He just asked the doctor, is it broken? Well, let's get the decision now, or the official time. Here's Mark Bitter.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round 9, the red corner suffers what is believed to be by ringside physicians as a dislocated jaw. Therefore, the winner by technical knockout in round 10, Shanon Briggs.
Well, the judges had Briggs convincingly on the scorecards, 90 to 81, 89 to 81, and then somewhat closer, 87 to 83. And he goes on to win his 29th fight in 30 to mixed reaction to the crowd here in Baton Rouge. Shanon Briggs with the victory by TKO.
Palladium for the featured